Well, anyway, a strong response from Richard's attorneys, and I mean, just reading all their stuff and how much they did file back. I mean, you can tell this group is very, very confident. I mean, they're not afraid of what's going on with the SEC, and more importantly, kind of shifting to the overall, like, what does this mean for the market? If you were to pull up the tweet from Richard where he linked this law, whatever it is, New York Law
New
Journal,
York Journal, yeah, this one.
So yeah, so this is really bullish, and then I pulled up the article if you just want to click the link. This is really interesting. So SEC Richard Hart clash in dueling motions over $1 billion unregistered securities litigation. This is written by Michael Mora. And I'm really glad that he's highlighting this. It's a pretty quick read. He's just kind of, some of it's just summarizing all the events that we are already very privy to. But basically, he says, getting down to the nitty gritty, the U.S. SEC and litigators for an embattled cryptocurrency founder escalated their clash this week with over $1 billion unregistered securities lawsuit. Defendant Richard Hart is represented by several law firms, and he lists all their credentials. SEC further seeks to cement a role it assumed for itself as the global governor of blockchain technology, a role exceeding both the limited mandate and the bounds of personal jurisdiction, and the case should be dismissed with prejudice, which is what Richard's attorneys have said. Within hours of the defendant's filing, the SEC filed a motion in opposition. Matthew Gold, a trial attorney who penned the motion of the SEC, pinpointed 5 points that Hart asserted and doubled down against them. Now a hearing's been scheduled in for October, which we know. I'm trying to get to the main part. So Ishmael Green, a partner at Diaz, Royce, and Targ. Some of these names, where do these people come up with these names? In Miami, an uninvolved crypto expert, he claims himself to be, said that the rolling and its fallout could impact other digital assets because Pulse Chain is essentially a copy of Ethereum and Hex is essentially Bitcoin, but with a certificate of deposit function. Just the fact that this Green guy from this law firm in Miami knows even this much, I find surprising and kind of impressive. But he's talking about that. Then he goes on to say this provides a roadmap for anyone creating a cryptocurrency who wants to remain outside the SEC's enforcement arm. This case will go down in history as one of those cases that nobody saw coming, and it's very important. I think that's what Richard has been saying all along and what anybody in our ecosystem has been saying, because this is the most decentralized blockchain built on the most DeFi principles of anything in crypto right now. And he's under fire. Now, most of the cryptocurrency world that are Bitcoin maxis or just do stuff on ETH or whatever else, just know him as like the clown from the last cycle. And where did he ever go? Oh, how about this movie he was in? Hex is down 99%. I mean, yeah, that's true. It's definitely true. But with these other things that he's built out, and with the SEC coming after him like this, why anybody would root on the SEC against anybody doing anything in crypto, like the bankless boys do, I will never understand it. I'm disgusted by it. But good stuff from Ishmael Green there, and I like his thought process, and I know we all kind of agree with that. But how much do you think he's correct there, Ewok, that like this really will be precedent setting for many things in crypto? Because we saw the big lawsuit over the last few years was obviously Ripple and XRP, which literally Ripple won the lawsuit. Like they won defiantly, really. I mean, going away by the end of it. The judge totally sided with them, and the SEC really got nothing but like a very small fine, I think they may have gotten from them. But I mean, what do you make of this Green guy's comments and the importance of this case for all of crypto?
Well, yeah, he nails it on the head. He talks about the Pulse Chain being the copy of Ethereum, which they still have not ever come out and said that Ethereum was not a security. They still haven't done that. But if they ever did, it's a copy of it. So how can one be and not the other, right? And then you've got the comment about Hex being the better Bitcoin because it has the certificate of deposit function. Completely accurate there. Richard was very smart. He was very deliberate. He was very intentional about how these things were designed from the beginning. Even on the first couple days of the launch, when Richard was in the Zoom on the stream with those couple lawyers. And, he was very intentional with the way he said it, the way he was designing it to fail the Howey test. There are things about it, all 5 legs of it fails. So it wasn't just one or it wasn't just two, it was all of them. So yes, it's very important. And I get frustrated when I see people out there just because they don't like Richard um, because of the marketing, the outrage marketing that he did. It turned a lot of people off, unfortunately. And they should be rooting for this. I won't even call them bankless boys. I call them bankless soys.
Well,
Um,
when I said boys, I felt like I needed to correct it, and I didn't, so that's on me. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, they're just, I, you know, people like that are rooting for. I don't know if you saw the little clip earlier today that was out on Twitter, but about them sticking up for the SEC going after OpenSea.
Yeah.
It's like, are you
It's mainly
kidding
that
me?
Dave Hoffman idiot
Yeah,
that
yeah,
cried.
the
Yeah.
one that
Yeah.
cried on stream,
Yeah.
like a little girl. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I mean, guys like that, they're only out for a paycheck and they only
They
care
are.
about a sponsor. And it wouldn't surprise me if those guys are turning people in for the money, for the
Oh,
bounty.
I
I could
think it runs
totally
deep.
see them doing it. I could totally see them doing that.
I think it runs extremely deep with those guys. Like they're like Mr. and Mrs. or Mrs. and Mrs. Ethereum all the time, and now all of a sudden they have all these Solana people on there all the time. And the main host, I forget his name, but the main guy with the glasses, to his credit, like questioned Dave Hoffman, and made a comparison to what he was talking about with Bored Apes and NFTs,
Yeah,
the video you're talking about, and kind of asked him point blank about something on ETH, and then he kind of got tongue tied. Well, that's a little different. Then you're talking about, it's like, dude, shut up. Like
yeah,
you want what you like to do well. You want to like who you're being paid by to do well. You don't
yeah.
care, anything else. You just want to have eradicated because you don't have it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. There are things out there that cause the price of things to go up that just because that happens doesn't make them a security. So yeah, I mean, they just, I don't think they know what they want. They're more, like you said, they follow the money. Whoever's going to sponsor them or pay their bills, they'll talk good about. And unfortunately, it is a pay to play atmosphere when you get to some of these large crypto influencers. But either way, back to our original point,
Mhm.
this is very important and it does lay groundwork for people that will be creating things, um, completed contracts or completed projects that you can't be changed, immutable code, things like that will be so important moving forward. Richard was definitely ahead of his time when he created this stuff. So I hope to see more of that. I hope to see things that don't have off switches. Um, you know, in the world that we live in, when all of these people who talk about free speech and um, we could go on. We could talk about the Telegram guy. We could talk about
Yeah.
like him or hate him. Uh, Top G bald guy. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Um,
Um,
what,
why
Andrew Tate?
Andrew Tate,
Yeah.
Trump. You've got all these guys. You've got the Tornado Cash guy.
Yeah.
Anybody that wants free speech or privacy or things like that, they're the ones that get taken down. And unfortunately, that's just the world we live in because the tyranny of it is out of control. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yes, I do think this is very important and people need to pay attention.
There's clearly many people within crypto, if you want to even call it actual crypto, that do the eye roll and have never bought into Richard Hart. And I do understand. I mean, I don't understand it because I would always want to look further into things. But people, just seeing the character that he kind of became like throughout 2022, and oh, he's a scammer and this and that. And it's like it was just too easy. Like I think he was clearly doing that stuff on purpose. But they they're so quick to discount and not pay attention to any of the principles that he's actually talked about over the years and actually implemented, that nothing else in DeFi or cryptocurrency really does, because
Right.
because those people don't care. They don't, like the Bob Lucases and stuff like that. They don't actually care about cryptocurrency. Like, they're not really about like the ethos of cryptocurrency. It's just like, okay, Bitcoin's a new. They're just market guys. Like, they're just.
Yeah.
And I'm not. Bob Lucas is good at what he does, but I mean, he's just playing Bitcoin cycles and investing in Bitcoin cycles. Like, these people don't really have any principles or anything about crypto, or about DeFi.
Exactly.
They're not even interested in DeFi, really. I mean, they don't care. So, I mean, it's
all about the bag they hold. It's all about the bag they hold, or who's sponsoring them or what kind of coins that they have. That's what they talk about. If they don't have it, they don't care. They don't even care that it's important to the things that they do hold, because, once one of these things go down, they could come after you next. And that's what people aren't thinking about.
Definitely. Yeah. Nobody should be rooting for the SEC against anybody here. I mean, like, this is nobody that we voted for. They're going after people that, that, as we've always talked about, they throw a bunch of shit at the wall to see what sticks and, file the lawsuit and do the research later. And it's because they get paid the more cases that they bring. So the whole system is just set up in a corrupt manner to incentivize that, just to go after people. So,
it's total extortion. It's worse than the mafia.
And I mean, I'll clearly say that I hope Trump wins, obviously, and I hope they uninstall Gary Gensler, and I hope that the legislation from Warren Davidson and Mike Emmer, I always forget his name. Tom,
right.
But they've been talking about reforming the SEC for some time, whether that's political theater or not. I hope all that stuff happens, and maybe Hester Pierce gets appointed as the top. She's always seemed like somebody within that organization that seemed like she had, some actual sense. So who knows? I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But for now, we're stuck with this administration who's really pro crypto and the, different platforms that they're attacking. So.